Fasting has been shown to have numerous health benefits, including weight loss, increasing your metabolic flexibility, and even increasing your body's production of stem cells. But how exactly do you get started? Stay tuned. Hi everyone, Floyd Meyer here with Catalyst Impacts, and today we are going to be talking about all of the different types of fasting and how you can implement fasting in your own life, especially if you're just getting started. Now, I do want to point out that if you have any type of specific medical condition, or if you're concerned that you have a medical condition, or if you're looking to do more extended fasting just in general, it's best if you speak with your doctor, okay? So everything that I'm doing here is for educational purposes only. Now, fasting can give you a ton of benefits, especially if done the right way. But there's a lot of confusion out there regarding all the different types of fasting and exactly, how often you need to do it, how long you need to be fasting for, all of those things. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take all of the information that I found from the leading researchers in fasting and present that information to you in a way that you can actually use it. Now, the first type of fasting that we're going to be talking about is intermittent fasting. And this is by far the most common. You read about it everywhere now, especially, with the new year coming up, everyone's looking to implement fasting and to become keto. And so this is why we're going to be talking about it first. Now, generally, intermittent fasting can be thought of as a fasting window of anywhere between 12 and 24 hours. And the most common type is going to be 16-8. And what that means is that you're fasting for 16 hours and then you're going to be eating during an 8-hour window. And this has become extremely common, especially in more athletic type of people or the biohacking group. All of those people love to do 16-8. And it can be a very effective thing because basically you just skip breakfast, and that's what a lot of them end up doing. And so when you get good at this, you can end up just not needing to eat breakfast, and you can get a lot of work done in that time. So that's one of the reasons why it's become so popular. So an example would be if you fasted from 4 p.m. until 8 a.m. the next day. Or you could bump it out a little bit and you could do from like noon to 8 p.m. or something like that. But you have that 8-hour window. Now, the next type of fasting that I'm going to be talking about is a more extended fast. And this can generally be thought of anything greater than 24 hours. Some people say extended fasting only counts after 48 hours, but on average, all of the leading researchers seem to say an extended fast is somewhere greater than 24 hours. Now, I do not recommend starting here. If you haven't actually implemented fasting, if you haven't done some of these other types, I don't recommend starting with, trying to fast for more than 24 hours at a time. And when you do these more extended fasts, it's really, really important that you stay hydrated. So a lot of people think because they're not eating, they shouldn't drink any water, and that is not the case. You definitely want to stay really well hydrated, and you also need to be a little bit more careful with your electrolyte levels. So, adding in a pinch of sea salt, doing some things like that can be very helpful to help get you through these more extended fasts. But when you do an extended fast, that's where you're really going to get the autophagy, so you're going to start breaking down those damaged cells, and when you refeed, that's when you're really going to get that increase in stem cell production. Now, my favorite type of fasting is called time-restricted eating, and the reason it's my favorite is because I think that it's the easiest one to implement for most people, and it's the most enjoyable type that you can actually do. And the reason for that is because when you do time-restricted eating, you're focusing on a period of time that you get to eat all of your food. So with the other types of fasting, obviously you're focusing on the amount of time that you're fasting. And that is just a restrictive way of thinking about it. And so it can be more difficult. Versus with the time-restricted eating, you're focusing on a period of time where you actually get to eat. And it's based off of your circadian biology. So that's that internal body clock that we all have. And normally that's activated by the light and dark cycles. So when the sun comes up, it's daytime. That tells our body it's daytime, and it activates all our daytime genes. And then when the sun goes down, there's no more light. And that would be back in the day before we had electricity. The sun would go down, there'd be no more light, and then that would tell our bodies that it's nighttime. And so those genes, our nighttime genes, would turn on. Now the other things that activate those genes is your food intake. So when you're eating, that tells your body that it's daytime, and then when you're not eating, that tells your body that it's nighttime. So when you do this time-restricted eating, just think about a 24-hour clock. Just your clock starts every day. You have one 24-hour clock. And the studies, they've done numerous studies on this, and all you have to do is just keep your eating window to less than 12 hours. That's it. So you don't even need to do like the 16-8 where you're pushing it to an 8-hour window. You can just do no more than 12 hours. And you may think like, oh yeah, I already do that. That's easy, no problem. But they've done the studies, and most people actually eat for like 14 to 15, 16 hours on average every day. And so when you're doing that, you're not giving your body enough time to rest, to really turn on those other genes where you start to break down, those old damaged cells, start clearing out waste. You're not giving yourself enough time when you're eating for that long of a time, and you're only giving yourself a short amount of time to repair and recover. So when you can keep your eating window to less than 12 hours, so basically all you have to do is figure out when you wake up. So say you wake up at 7 in the morning, and then you usually drink your coffee at 8. That's going to start your window. And then you just need to get in all of your calories by 8 p.m. And so that means like you can't, have dessert after that and all of those things, but you just get in all of your calories in that 12 hours. And that can really be a great place to start, especially, start getting that metabolic flexibility and start, increasing your capacity to actually do more prolonged fasts. And this can be an awesome base for you to build upon. So once you actually start implementing this time-restricted eating and you get better at it and you're able to keep with it consistently for weeks, months, then you can start building on more healthy lifestyle strategies. Or if you want to do more extended fasts, then you can start trying to kind of cut it down. So you can try then do an 11-hour window and then a 10-hour window. You could even try and do like the 8-hour window, like the 16-8. And then once you get even better, then you can start working up to more an extended fast. So that's kind of how I would recommend that you would actually get started. But I want to point out that fasting is a skill, okay? This is something that you can get better at. You can make your body better at fasting. You can become more metabolically flexible. But you need to think of it just like any other skill. You're not going to be very good at it at the beginning. If you haven't done any type of fasting before and you initially jump in and try and do like a 36-hour extended water fast, that's not going to go very well. Think of it just like exercise. So if you were completely sedentary and you didn't work out at all, and then you decided to go run a marathon, that's probably not going to go very well for you. You are at a high risk of damaging your body. The amount of stress that you're putting on your body is not ready for that level of stress. So you're going to get hurt, you're going to get injured, you're going to be out of commission for a very long time. And the same thing goes with fasting. If you don't go from not fasting at all, not doing any of these things, to trying to do a 48-hour water fast. That's how you end up getting hurt and damaging things. So start slow. Implement the time-restricted eating. Just, have a 12-hour window. This is just very easy stuff that you can do and build that fasting muscle. Get better at it. And then over time, you can start increasing the amount of time that you're fasting. And this can be a really powerful tool. The better you get at this, the more control that you will have. For those of us that are busy, we're working, trying to make our positive impact in the world, you're gonna end up needing to miss meals. And you need to be able to perform at a high level even if you are having to skip those meals and do those things. So this can be a very powerful strategy, a powerful tool for you to start to implement. And you want to be really clear on exactly what it is that your goals are. So if you're implementing, fasting just to be overall healthier, then I definitely recommend just doing the time-restricted eating. You can improve your metabolism. Some people even lose weight. You can, decrease your risk of certain diseases just by keeping it to that 12-hour window. You don't need to do, a 5-day water fast just to be, normally healthy. Now, if you have other specific goals, like if you're trying to lose weight and you're using fasting as a way to decrease your total caloric intake or something like that, then it becomes a little bit different. And you're just, the main thing is you just need to be very clear on what your goals are so that you can actually get the outcome that you want. fasting is not a cure-all. Just because you start implementing fasting doesn't mean it fixes everything. So be clear on your goals and pick a strategy that is going to help get you to those goals. But start slow, build up that fasting muscle, get better at it, increase your metabolic flexibility so that you can then, be strong, be resilient, and be able to live the life. Even if you're busy, you can still perform at a high level. So this has been a general overview, and I hope that this has been very informative to you guys. I want to know if you have any questions about fasting, just let me know in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to answer them. So again, this is Floyd Meyer with Catalyst Impacts signing off.